from Southern Colorado's high-definition news leader, this is News Channel 13, where the news comes first.
A lot of people will be cleaning up today after major rain and hailstorms pummeled parts of Colorado, but don't put those umbrellas away just yet.
And the storms have moved out, at least for the most part, but we are tracking some new ones moving in and a cold front. We've got all the details coming up.
The votes are in, and we're getting a clear picture of the winners in the state primary elections.
We'll get to the results of the election in just a minute. Good morning, Colorado. It's 5 o'clock, Wednesday, June 29th. I'm John Carroll.
And I'm Dana Clemens. Thanks for joining us this morning. New this morning, one person has died after a car crashed into a tree in Colorado Springs. It happened late last night in a neighborhood near Dublin Boulevard and Academy. That's on the north side of the city. Both directions of Dublin Boulevard were closed between Dublin Circle and Dublin Place while police investigated and cleaned up the crash. We know that a Ford Explorer hit a tree, and all streets are back open this morning. Major Accidents is investigating. We'll bring you updates as soon as we learn more.
Turning to weather now, several people will be cleaning up after powerful storms hit parts of Colorado.
Take a look at this incredible video of lightning over Colorado Springs. KRDO News Channel 13 viewer Alexander Weeds shot this video as thunderstorms rolled over the city.
Sight and sound. Well, let's take a live look outside right now. This is our Viera Wireless Neighborhood Weather Network camera. Just a gorgeous start to the day in La Vita in Huerfano County. Nice glow on the horizon, clear skies at 5:01. Storm Tracker 13's Mike Everett is in for Abby Coney, tracking weather on the ones. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, John. Yeah, you see, this image is just so beautiful. Every once in a while here, I've been seeing just some lone cars making their way through there. Folks getting up and out after a very active night last night. A little bit cooler than we've been seeing, getting into the 50s overnight in the Springs. 57s where we're at in the airport right now. 66 in Pueblo. Seeing some lower to mid 60s out towards the plains. 63 La Junta, 61 Lamar, 52 Salida. And as you're getting up and out this morning, again, kind of right on the edge of jacket territory, because some folks are in the 40s, 49s right now in Briargate and in Black Forest. 51 Peyton, 56 in Falcon, 54 in Mountain Shadows right now, 56 in Woodland Park. 66 Pueblo, 65 in Pueblo West, 63 in Colorado City, and down south 53 Trinidad, 57 Aguilar, and 57 is your number right now in Walsenburg. Winds, you may have noticed they were a little bit breezy overnight, even after those storms passed through, kind of getting their act together right now, deciding which direction they want to go. 15 in Lamar right now, 14 in Springfield, those with an easterly flow to them. Trinidad, you've got the exact opposite, 14 miles an hour coming in from the west. Here's your live HD Doppler radar, and again, it took all night for these storms to make their way out of Baca County. Finally, just seeing some little remnants right there in Springfield making their way out. Highs today warming back up into the 80s today. 87 are high in the Springs, 97 in Pueblo, 95 in Canyon City. You'll see right at the 70 mark in Leadville, 79 in Gunnison. And if you're looking for some warmer temperatures, we've got those. 98 in La Junta, 96 in Lamar, 95 in Springfield. I am tracking a front moving in here that will make us cooler by about a good 10 degrees. I'll tell you where and when coming up. John and Dana, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. Well, Denver also got hit very hard by storms yesterday. The Rockies game was delayed after Coors Field took in buckets of rain. Check this out. Heavy rain nearly flooded out the ballpark last night. The game was delayed nearly 3 hours, but crews were able to sop up the water and shovel out the hail so the Rockies could take on Toronto Blue Jays.
Several viewers sent us amazing photos of the storm. Kevin took this one in Briargate. Huge lightning strike there. And Heather shot this creative photo of the sunset after the first round of storms. She said it's a look through her crystal ball from Black Forest Regional Park. Thank you so much to everyone for posting and sharing all of your weather photos with us. Stay ahead of the storms by downloading our KRDO Storm Tracker 13 weather app. You can find it at the App Store or on Google Play.
Now to your Decision 2016 and the results from the Colorado primaries. Votes are in. El Paso County Commissioner will face Daryl Glenn will face Democratic U.S. Senator Michael Bennet in November. Daryl Glenn will campaign against Bennet. He won a convincing 38% of the vote, easily defeating 4 other Republicans.
Daryl Glenn emerges victorious in the GOP primary for U.S. Senate. He scored a double decisive digit win, beating 4 other contenders. Glenn held a victory watch party at the Broadmoor. He was joined by about 100 of his supporters. He started his campaign a year and a half ago won 70% of the vote at the state convention in the Springs in April. Bennett is more well-known and has much more money at this point, but that doesn't concern his Republican challenger.
This is what happens when you actually communicate with grassroots people, when you start getting out there making that personal relationship, when you lay out an agenda that's forward-leaning and allows for economic prosperity for all, that's how you win.
Glenn took the late momentum in the race with key endorsements. Last week, former presidential candidate Texas Senator Ted Cruz endorsed Glenn in Denver.
Republican Congressman Doug Lamborn won the state primary. The five-term U.S. representative snagged 68% of the vote. His Republican challenger, Calandra Vargas, got 32%. At this point, it appears as though he'll face Democrat Misty Plowright in November. She won over Donald Martinez. A controversial Colorado Springs state lawmaker could be out of office today. In the GOP primary for State Senate District 12, State Representative Gordon Klingenschmidt is losing to Bob Gardner. Klingenschmidt is currently a state representative for House District 15, and according to the El Paso County GOP, Klingenschmidt cannot run for his House seat. He's made headlines in the past for several controversial comments he's made on his cable access TV show. And we have results from all of the primary races across southern Colorado, including a county-by-county breakdown of the GOP Senate primary on our website, krdo.com.
5:06 now. A new study from the Associated Press says municipal attorneys in Denver and other cities are intentionally hiding important facts and evidence in civil cases against police officers. It's new this morning. The review shows hundreds of court records of attorneys who represent cities. It says they have weak systems that are meant to hold police accountable for wrongdoing. A Chicago attorney says lawyers have a widespread practice of destroying and lying about negative evidence against police. Other cities in the investigation include New York, Baltimore, and Spokane, Washington. A man accused of killing a Colorado Springs senior in her gated community on the city's south side has been found guilty on all counts. Marcus Allen Smith will serve life in prison for the 2011 death of Catherine Kit Grazioli. Smith strangled her during a botched robbery not far from Fort Carson. He then tried to hide the evidence by burning her body on Gold Camp Road. The trial faced several delays as doctors reviewed Smith's mental status.
It's 5:07 now, and we have just learned that the mayor of Istanbul says 41 people are dead, 239 are injured in yesterday's massive terror attack at the international airport. Despite the horror, operations are nearly back to normal today. Now officials are saying that all signs point to ISIS for the attack. Still, others were traumatized by the events that unfolded before their eyes. CNN's Reed Binion has the details.
Screams, explosions, and gunfire piercing the air on a warm summer night in Turkey. Witnesses recounting the chaos of the bombings and shooting rampage at one of the world's busiest airports.
Just pure panic, people falling over themselves.
The barrage of gunfire followed by explosions as the attackers detonated suicide vests. Passenger Lawrence Cameron was greeted by the carnage moments after his flight landed.
And I stepped out of the plane, walked around the corner, and there's just a wave of sort of screaming people towards me.
Another witness recalled pandemonium and confusion as terrified crowds fled the carnage.
It was certainly a mood of heightened panic within those corridors, and especially considering the fact that there was no way to get out.
Some travelers crouched in fear, others hid, and still others desperately searched for any means of escape.
We started to try to get out of the windows from the Turkish Airlines lounge, but of course the glass was too heavy. It was just total desperation in that moment.
In the moments after the attack, lingering shock mixed with grief and despair. On the other side of the Atlantic, passengers who took off before the attack landed in Boston, greeted by the relief and the concern of their loved ones.
After a landing, and when I opened my phone, then I saw some friends' messages that they're asking that we are okay.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
You can find more coverage of the Istanbul attack on our website, krdo.com.
Bears are no stranger to southern Colorado neighborhoods, especially during the summer. Ahead, we'll give you tips on how you can keep safe should you encounter one.
But first, we're taking a look at the damage left in one West Virginia town that's been completely shut down, how residents are getting help after historic flooding in the area.
We saw some pretty heavy rains across southern Colorado last night. A lot of those storms now moving out. Gorgeous sunrise on the horizon. We'll talk about our next chance for storms and a cold front moving through that'll cool us off going into the weekend. Details coming up.